What's up, YouTube? This is John.
And I am Ellie, and we are LiquidHaus, and this is HausKeeping. Welcome back to another episode. It's been a minute since you've seen us, but we are here. We have some really exciting things to share with you.
As you can see behind us, we got some fun things to talk about, but this is going to be a shorter episode from last time. The first episode was pretty long. Obviously, we covered all of Computex and stuff like that, and that was a much longer episode than what our vision is for this show.
Yes.
And so this is going to be like our first real definitive length episode, I feel.
Hopefully.
Like, right?
Yeah, I mean,
something like that.
I'm sure everything is just unpredictable. So you might get a 10-minute episode from us one time, and you might get a 40-minute episode from us the next time. And you know what?
True.
Let's just hope that you enjoy whenever we show up and however we show up.
Well, we've got some fun stuff to talk about today, so let's get into it.
So one of the first things that we're going to be talking about, is one of the most exciting things, in my opinion, that we had going on. And you probably have seen it, which is my HQ build in the Phanteks NV7. I call her Project Aera. She's actually named after my Baldur's Gate 3 character.
Which is as perfect as an excuse as any to
yes.
name the rig a certain thing.
Yes. But yeah, we did a nice little refresh on that build in the last couple of months. We just changed up the loop a little bit.
Yeah, so there's quite a few things and we're also going to be laying some footage for you guys so you can see what we're talking about here. But basically, the first concept of Aera we had done for a YouTube video. Ellie had done the full build, and it was awesome. It turned out really well, except there were a few caveats to the design that we wanted to try and fix. One of the instances, things that we did with the build that was a little bit particular in terms of how we wanted the build layout versus a traditional setup is, for instance, the side intake. We didn't have a side intake because we filled it up with a custom Stealkey customs distro that we had made specifically for that build. So that was a huge point of intake that we completely disregarded.
Mm-hmm.
But then we also kind of offset a little bit of the overall intake on top of that as well by doing a bottom radiator as well. But we added the Phanteks fans, those D30 fans, and we did inverse bladed fans on the bottom. So the air was getting pulled up through the radiator into the build. And so we also did that on the rear 240 as well at the top. That being said, those XSPC radiators are really thin. And so there's a really tight fin stack. And that coupled with the Phanteks D30 fans with the inverse blades, it's just not a super strong solution for intake into the case. And so
it looks great.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
obviously
looks great.
You have that simplicity. The radiators are hidden, very stealth in there. Yeah. But as far as performance goes, it just wasn't cutting it.
Yeah, we definitely saw higher temps than we wanted, even with all the Intel issues with dishing out more power to the CPU than needed or more voltage or what have you. That was something that we take care of almost immediately. We almost immediately run a negative offset, bump it down just a little bit, get it back into the more golden zone of actual voltage application onto the cores. That being said, we're still getting some really high temps because of just the overall layout. And honestly, one thing that we really try and implement with a lot of our builds is we try to implement a potential second stage idea.
Yes.
To bring it in and just update it.
A V2. We like a second iteration. We like to kind of give life to something that we've already put so much time into. If you know the process, if you've seen our process on how we plan our builds, it's fun to be able to utilize that planning stage and put it into a new iteration of a build and bring it back to life.
Yeah. And, one big thing about us at LiquidHaus is we really enjoy our external radiators, right? So it was honestly a perfect opportunity and kind of an excuse too, to say, hey, you know what? This is actually a really good way to implement an external radiator, very similarly to the traditional pain point of oh, I've got a build.
Mm-hmm.
My temps aren't as good as I'd like them to be. I really enjoy my case. I really enjoy the layout of the build. I don't really want to change it up, but I do need better temps.
Right.
And so, okay,
How do we do
how do
that?
we do that? And how do we do that in a very clean, refined way? And that
Yeah.
was something that we tried to press upon ourselves with this update. And I think we did a really excellent job.
No, John did a phenomenal job putting this together. All of the custom EXT has all custom cabling, wiring.
Yeah, that was it's quite the journey to get it all together, especially with the custom wiring. We utilized an EK Waterblocks 560 radiator on our 140 EXT, and then
We replaced the 1D5 pump, right, in there.
no, we had a Tech N DDC that was located in the bottom left.
That's right, the DDC, and replaced it with 2D5s.
Right on the back of the EXT.
Yep.
And we did that for a few different reasons. One, we didn't want a an outlier DDC pump in an all D5 system. Obviously, you can tune the pumps to kind of have an equilibrium because a DDC and a D5 are certainly different kinds of pumps. They can provide different things. The reason we had put the DDC in Aera as well, though, because we hate running single pump setups. We love the redundancy and also
always.
Yeah, and we just love the additional flow too.
Right.
Optimum flow is 1 gallon per minute. We needed a really clean way to implement a second pump. Luckily, that Tech N DDC did a really good job. The cleanest way to run that EXT, an old school bits power bracket, actually. They used to make them from way back, and they don't really make them anymore. And so if you can find them available, I would snag one for sure. But we utilized one of those, and that kind of took the place of the DDC as well in terms of like fitment. So there were a few different reasons why we removed that DDC from the setup. But after now, I mean, it looks absolutely stunning. And, like Ellie said, we've got 2 D5s on the back with another custom 240 based Stealkey
Customs distro.
Yeah, distro that they had actually laying around their office, and they weren't going to use it for anything. So
we snagged it.
We snagged it from them.
Must have been a custom piece from somebody else or something, but it ended up working perfectly for the build that we needed it for. Which is fun.
We had a fun. We made a fun little 120 to 140 bracket adapter that I felt like would be usable in a lot of different instances for the kind of stuff that we do. It basically takes a 120 platform into a 140 or vice versa. And so we were able to put that on the back of the distro and make a 120 base distro mount to a 560, which is a 140 base radiator. So that worked out really well. And then, the custom wiring took forever to do, but it looks so good.
Looks so good. It works so perfectly. And there's another couple upgrades that we did in there. Like MSI sent us over the new updated Edge board.
Yeah.
The Z790.
Yeah. What do they call it? The
Edge Max.
Yeah. It's like they threw in a TI, which I thought was interesting.
Did they throw in a TI?
Yeah. It's the Z790 Edge TI Max or Max TI.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know the significance of the TI. I felt like they would have gotten away just fine with the Max.
Right. But the previous Z790 had some orange accents that were obviously not going with the general aesthetic of the build. So they were so kind to send us over a new one that was lacking
any color.
It was
like fully monochrome, which was
beautiful.
Really nice. Yeah.
So it worked perfectly. And then obviously the Phanteks, they released their lighting kit for the NV7.
Yeah.
So we added that in.
That just sets it off.
Really does just tie it all in together.
Yeah. It honestly kind of, it's something I realized is we don't have one of those lighting kits for the Pro Art NV5 build.
No, but it would probably be a good one to have.
Yeah, it would definitely be a build that would benefit well from that.
Well, I've streamed on it a couple of times so far with all of the upgrades. And
it's running strong.
The temps are great.
It turned out beautiful, and we are really enjoying the update. I think it really comes together really nicely with Ellie's desk setup. She's got a proper battle station now, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah.
And we hope you guys enjoy that as well. Obviously, we did a build video for the first one, but it was going to be a little tricky to do like an update for that. But hopefully, that's why we're just covering it here. And
right. Another really exciting thing, which is something that we're seeing right here.
Oh yeah, right here, this
Right
lovely
here,
case.
which is the Montech Gear Seekers Edition King 95.
Yep, you might have seen that with the footage that we had at Computex for the
Yeah.
last housekeeping
You
episode.
might have
But
seen that. I think there was a lot of Computex coverage about this case, honestly.
yeah, oh yeah. I mean, it's no
But
surprise because this is going to be a really cool case when it launches soon.
it is.
And actually, by the time this episode goes live, the embargo will have dropped.
Yes, I was going to say the case isn't out yet. We aren't releasing this footage until this case has already been dropped. So this might be some of the first that you're seeing of it as well, too. Who knows?
Yeah, no, we're really excited about it. Going to do a full ASUS hardware build with it.
First impressions are insane. We talked in our first housekeeping video about the Montech King 95 Gear Seekers Edition having the mesh panel or glass panel as the front. And it turns out that they ended up including both of them in production. So that front panel's swappable.
Thankfully.
And the panels are easily swappable too, which is pretty incredible.
I was thinking, I was like, I don't know who to thank, either Nick and Claire or just Montech, because the King 95, every single panel has the press to click removable panels on every panel, and it takes seconds to remove it. And it's so convenient.
Yeah, just no drama.
And there are a lot of cases where each panel, they kind of have a different solution for each panel on the same case. And it's like, I don't understand why.
You have to take off the back panel to get the top panel off.
Right, you have to unscrew and then lift up. But on the front panel, you need to go forward with it. And then on the side panel, you need to, there's like a locking screw and you can only go forward with it rather than up. And, they just kind of figured out, like, you know what, we're just going to add the lock-in slots at the bottom, right? Obviously for alignment. And then the click locks at the top.
It's
done.
So simple. It's so easy, and it's just nice. We will be doing like a full build video and probably like first impressions and our experience building in the King 95 that will be dropping on the embargo date of October 1st, which is now by the time this video drops in the past. So by the time you watch this, you'll have already seen the King 95 video. That build video will already be out with all of their first impressions, but we just don't have those right now because they're the case is behind us.
The case is behind us. We haven't built with it yet. We're still kind of essentially forming a plan in terms of like how we want the layout to go. It's more than just slapping the hardware in, throwing an AIO in there and calling it done.
It's a process.
Yeah, it's a process. We're LiquidHaus. We want to do liquid cooling. We want to have some fun with it and make it unique and exciting and fun rather than just, an everyday build with an AIO. So
we also love Claire and Nick, and we're super excited about this opportunity. This is a huge milestone for any PC builder. And for them to be able to release a case with their name on it is massive. And we love them so much. And we're really excited to see where this takes them. So it's going to be a really fun project.
Yeah, really excited to be a part of it. And we can't thank you guys enough for letting us be a part of it. But this is such a win for you guys. We're so happy for you. And happy for Montech. Honestly, at Montech, you guys have been doing great work lately. So we're very happy you guys aligned yourselves with such great creators like Claire and Nick. So,
well, we hope that you like that video. So we were talking about it in the future tense.
I know, right? We're from the future right now.
We hope you like it. The next thing we're going to be talking about
another case project going on,
which is again kind of a fun topic one, because you might have seen in the last week a video drop on a popular YouTube page called Gamers Nexus of a TryX Luca review.
Yeah, the TryX. So that was interesting. I think you said this week. By the time they're watching it, remember, we're in the future.
It's going to be 2 weeks.
So a few weeks ago, Gamers Nexus had released a review of the Luca L70 case. And it was interesting. And we talked about it amongst ourselves with other creators and modders in the space. And we were all kind of scratching heads about why they would press forward with the review when the sample was clearly damaged in shipping.
Yeah, it is. It's obvious that no other creators got a damaged product or a damaged sample.
Yeah.
Every product that was sent out was a sample, though. These are all sampled products.
Yeah, they're not retail.
They're not retail
samples.
products.
They are early review samples.
So, but yeah, I mean, just to kind of touch on that, we do not find any of the information in that video to be our experience of the TryX Luca L70. We actually unboxed it the day that we got it, the day that the video came out.
Yeah, which was coincidentally the day that video was released.
I genuinely was we watched the first 10 minutes of that video, and we walked downstairs and opened our case, and I was expecting a ding or a something.
Yeah,
and there
for
was
the clear damage that was done to that case. It was like, okay, does that mean
ours is going to be damaged?
Yeah, the packaging wasn't up to snuff, right? Like the foam inserts weren't good enough.
And it's just simply not the case.
Yeah, it was not the case at all. It was actually in immaculate condition. And, we were really excited about it. Ours is black. Obviously theirs was white.
Yeah, they got the white sample.
And, it was interesting. And it's a bummer too, because, TryX is a new brand and they're excited about this new release. And what happens? First big product other than their AIO, one of the biggest reviewers out there, Steve. I don't know why you didn't link up with them and be like, hey, sample's damaged. Like it's just weird. It's crazy, especially with the new brand, TryX. I don't know if that's fair,
Yeah, I don't think that we can ride on this like sensationalist type of media content. It's just not, it doesn't feel like a very even playing ground when there are clear variables to
well, I mean, it's part of it, right? Like you never gave TryX an opportunity to say, hey, you know what, let's send you another sample, or hey, there's an issue with a certain panel, we'll take care of it for you. Thanks for letting us know. There didn't seem to be any communication, so that's kind of a bummer, but we are really excited about our build and what we're going to be doing with it.
We will be partnering with Oris, our friends over at Oris. They will be sending us over some new hardware.
Yep, X870E board. Probably just rocking like a 4080 or 4070 or something like that.
Yeah, and we really love the highlighter yellow that TryX uses. It's just their brand color.
It was the brand color, but they also had like a fun little tag thing in there, and it was kind of hanging and just kind of like when we took some photos of it, and we're like, you know what, that's like a proper color for that. So
you will be seeing a nice black and highlighter yellow build come from us soon.
The Area 51 sleeving from MDPCX. We've got plenty of that.
And it's a perfect match.
Yep. So we're going to have some fun with the tubing on that one. Make it as abstract or crazy looking as the case itself, honestly. It's one of the reasons why we were so excited about the case.
It's a really fun case. It's very, from what we were able to kind of mess around with it. We didn't mess with it too much when we got ours in hand. We haven't had the time to, but when we were at Computex messing with it, it's just a very optimizable case.
Yeah, there's a lot of different options you can do while still making it look striking and cool and different from your classic, box shaped case.
Right.
So
I'm excited to build with a new brand's case and kind of understand how their designers and engineers think. And, there's a lot of design language. If you use the same brand's case over and over again, you can kind of feel the design language when you're building.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see how
how they implement. Yeah, how they implement certain things and what they consider important, right? Because you see that over time. You can kind of see the engineer's thought process. You do these builds enough.
Yeah.
and yeah, so we're really excited about it. We're probably just going to do a CPU only loop for it. We're going to leave the GPU fine because, I mean, let's be honest, most of these air coolers on these GPUs are more than sufficient, unless we're talking like a 4090. But, for the most part, not everyone's got 4090s left and right. So there's no real reason to be blocking GPUs all the time. And we have fun with CPU only loops anyway.
I
So
love a CPU only loop.
yeah.
I do. I think they're very fun. I love the way that GPUs look nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are some really fun builds that we have coming up. Both, I don't know if you probably won't see a full build video for the Luca L70, but you will see a build video for the Montech King 95.
Yeah, but obviously, we'll be at least getting some really nice photos of the L70 and
maybe some reels, but definitely
yeah.
check out our Instagram and social media to get all the coverage on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, with another one, another chassis design, we're talking about like engineers' thought processes and stuff like that. I don't want to pat myself too heavily on the back, but we have an upcoming chassis design that we are working on to do a limited release of.
Our first chassis release.
Yeah.
So we've dabbled with designing and building our own chassis for the past year and a half now.
Yeah. I mean, they initially started for Intel events, but we've since kind of taken it off from there and have done a few different designs since then.
Yeah, just for fun. And John has gotten really good at learning AutoCAD and
And so we've put together some really cool designs, and we're going to be calling this one the ISO. But the layman's name right now is just L chassis.
Yeah, you'll probably have seen it online as the L chassis, or you would know what we're talking about if we reference the L chassis.
Yeah.
So
but we're calling it the ISO. Should I just go grab it? I mean, I want to be laying B-roll on top of this as well, but I think it'd be cool to just have that context.
Yeah, let's have it.
I'll just grab it.
So while he's grabbing it, we do not have a lot of information on it quite yet. We don't have the pricing on it. We don't have the release date on it, but we do know that we will start getting interest checks in the next few weeks here, because we do have the goal of hopefully beginning 2025 to be able to have this out and into your guys' hands.
So this is it. You can see why we called it the L chassis, right? Because we've got a single sheet of stainless steel right here. That is the bulk of the structure of the chassis. Bolts up a 420 radiator. This is a water cooling chassis. There were a few design implementations that we tried to put into this design so that we could, maybe allow some AIO setups to be run. But as we went through the process of everything, we kind of decided that it was compromising on the design. And so we're not going to do a chassis that can do AIOs as well as water cooling radiators. We're going to just do a water cooling chassis. And so, this chassis is designed to handle a 420 radiator. As you can see, we got the biggest one on the market, the AlphaCool Monster 420.
Yeah.
It's an ITX motherboard setup. And we'll have lots of different options for mounting the GPU. Like right now, we've got it in the traditional form factor. And if you go to our Instagram, you can see we've posted a few different L chassis layouts in the past. And that was all for basically R&D to figure out, what's going to work, what's not going to work. And that's something that we're trying really hard to implement so that when you guys have one, you don't run into any roadblocks right off the bat. And so, we're really excited about this, and we're steaming ahead, trying to get progress done on, manufacturing, stuff like that. But
there is some discussion going on in our Discord. Obviously, we'll mention Discord a couple of times here. So if you have any questions about that, that's probably the best way to reach out to us, or even just showing interest, sending us an email. Obviously, we want to know that you're interested, but we are full steam ahead on this thing. John had mentioned this is a water cooling chassis. It's not necessarily made for your all-in-one cooling builds.
Yeah.
This is not your beginner chassis. You have to know what you're doing, what you're getting yourself into for this case. And that's just kind of the nature of LiquidHaus products in general.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. We've been doing this for a long time, and there are so many creators out there on all sorts of different platforms talking about what to do with the PC build if you're relatively new to the space or new to the hobby, new to the ins and outs of PC building. And that's fine. Go and do that if you're new to the PC building. But if you are a seasoned builder and you've been doing this for a few years and you enjoy the process, you enjoy everything about it, you're going to have fun with this. And this is the kind of chassis that's designed for,
Yeah.
you know, definitely the experienced builder, someone who likes to tinker, you know, put together a build and then within a few months they get tired of it because they want to change it up just for the sake of changing it up.
Just for the sake of changing it up, yeah.
So,
and we have those are the people, those are our people. And, you know, this is going to be really exciting to be able to push out a product for those people. We see a lot of really fun EXT setups. And so we're excited to see that implemented into one of our chassis designs now.
Speaking of EXT setups, we have not forgotten about our pre-assembled EXT service that we're still working on the ins and outs of.
Do you have a couple in the works right now?
Yeah, we have a couple in the works. The beta tester clients that we're building them for have been insanely patient. You know who you are. Can't thank you enough for your patience, but we're on the home stretch.
We've been doing some crazy stuff there. Obviously, there's going to be soft tubing implemented into our external radiator setups. And one of our clients wanted a custom sleeving color that took me a really long time.
Really long time. It actually battled us. We're doing a 4 sage green. And not gonna lie, it's been hell.
It's been hell
trying to get the hue that we're looking for.
I've really had to like channel. About a year and a half ago, we were really lucky to be able to work with some cosplayers for an Intel event. So I had to really like tune into everything that those lovely cosplayers taught me, so I could really pull together this result.
I mean, yeah, every experience you go through, you learn something from it, right? And that was an experience that we definitely were learning from as well, because it was such a chaotic event and that was so much fun. Yeah, that was the event that we won.
We did. We
won that. It was awesome, but a big part of it was dyeing the sleeve.
Yes.
And implementing it for our EXT setups. You know, it's not going to be something that's going to be advertised a lot because the dyeing.
It's just so unpredictable and it's
hard to promise.
Yeah, it's just really hard to manage. And we would really like to, obviously we want to give you a product that you're 1,000% happy with. If it's not the color that we just want it to be perfect. And
that's really all it comes down to, is we want it to be as nice for you as it would be for us. Right. So we're perfectionists in that way. It's one of the reasons why we've put YouTube off in so many different ways and so many different aspects for such a long time.
I think just content in general we've just put off is because we are expecting a certain level of quality. And we want to be able to give you that. And we know that you're expecting that certain level of quality from us as well. So it's hard to always uphold and achieve, or even think that you'll be able to uphold or achieve that quality. But, you know, we're actually just kind of striving for completion, not perfection. You know?
Yeah, at this point.
Yeah.
At this point, we just need to do the damn thing.
Yeah.
But we've got one more thing, right?
Yeah, so talking about our new products, we recently, last week, got in a whole shipment of new Stealkey LiquidHaus products.
Yeah, we've got 2 new variants. We've got... Our guys at Stealkey, they wanted to extrapolate on the sizing with the CubeTubes. And so if you go to their website, they've got 120s, 140s, 240s, 280s, and 360s. Based on how much we've used them in builds, we try to use them as much as possible, right? We want to show off all the different ways you can use them. So much fun you can have with them. We have decided to carry 140s on top of the 120s, 240s, and 360s. But a really exciting thing is we're doing 60 mil length offset cube tubes.
The cutest things.
Yeah, so these are really fun. They're instead of a traditional cube tube with the ports on both on one side, it's just an inline offset way to change up tubing. So you'll have tubing going on one end, and on the other end it's going out the other side. So we're working on a few different builds, and even maybe some of the builds that we've discussed today, we're going to try and implement some of these offset cube tubes so you guys can get like a real sense of like how you can use them in a clean fashion. But we're really excited about them, and we're going to be putting them on our website pretty soon here. Probably by the time this video is live, we'll have them. So we'll definitely link them down in the description below. But yeah, we're really excited about it because the cube tubes have certainly taken off. Another cool aspect about that is Stealkey kind of made like a small inline distro version of the CubeTube, and I believe that's doing really well. I believe you can even go on Case King or Watercool's website and buy them directly from there as well. So the availability is becoming quite large for these CubeTubes, and we can't recommend them enough. It's just so much fun.
They're fun. They're just a really fun solution, and different variants for a loop.
Yeah, making your loop more complex or different, unique. But yeah.
One last thing that we didn't really mention that I just want to throw out real quick. You'll see right here we have Cooler Master sent over their MasterHUB, which is actually a product that they have on Kickstarter, which is very interesting from a brand like Cooler Master.
Yeah, Master Cool. I know, right? The MasterHUB throws you off. This is a pretty wild product coming from Cooler Master. We saw this at Phanteks, and we were really excited about it. I think it's a Kickstarter.
Yeah,
product,
it's a
right?
Kickstarter product.
Yeah, very interesting on them going with Kickstarter. I think it might similarly be in the same kind of line of thinking that we're kind of having with our ISO L chassis with like an interest check, because I think how Cooler Master is doing with Kickstarter, it's like, if you're interested in this, pledge, you'll get one, but we're only going to make them for the people that want them. I think that's kind of
interesting because they've also made quite a bit of money on this pledging already.
Right. Yeah. It paid off like insanely quickly.
Yeah.
This is a product that's been on the hunt for a lot of people for a while now. And I think Cooler Master nailed the execution on it. So we do plan on doing some content with it. We're going to do an unboxing. We're going to kind of dive into it a bit.
Use it for some streams to get some real solid testing on it.
Yeah.
So you will see some more content.
Yes, you'll absolutely see some more content with the MasterHUB. We'll link the Kickstarter. We have a Kickstarter link. We'll put it down in the description below, and you can give it a look see and see if you're interested. There's a few different modules you can see. We've got a knob module. We've got an encoder IPS display, which is really cool. And then, there's so many different modules that you can like configure in different ways. So pretty exciting little product. We're excited to use it. We will be doing some couch streams here in the same setting here. We're going to be playing video games on our living room TV here. And so this might be a perfect opportunity to use this down for these streams.
Give it a good test and see how it works. And we have some other products, comparable products, so we can get a real good test, side by side
absolutely.
test.
Yeah, you guys can see that we're utilizing the Rodecaster Duo right now. That was just because the first housekeeping episode that we had done, we were utilizing the wireless DJI mics,
which is not recommended.
No, editing was actually a nightmare. They had completely desynced, and Ellie's mic was glitching every 2 minutes. So every 2 minutes for that hour-long video, I had to resync her audio because it would glitch. And God forbid, if she was talking, the glitch would override her talking. So it would like skip a second of her dialogue. It was a nightmare. So we're doing everything wired directly into Audacity right now on the laptop. So we shouldn't have any problems.
It will be a much better result.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So we've got some perspective now, maybe with the MasterHUB, to do like a fun little comparison.
Yeah.
But
I will say though, we still had a really good response from our first housekeeping episode, and thank you so much for showing up for us and being there for whatever piece of content we throw out. Our community is honestly while we are small, we are mighty and very, I don't know, just a really cool community. And
yeah, we can't thank you guys enough.
yeah.
You know, it comes to a certain point where we can only make so much noise and do so many things, right? But being received well is something that not everyone gets, and we just can't thank you guys enough for, you know, giving us your time and patronage, and you know,
And giving a shit.
yeah, just giving a shit.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for giving a shit.
Yeah.
You know, we're doing this full time. It's so stressful, especially this past year. But we're gonna keep chugging forward and hoping for the best.
Yeah.
So
You couldn't have said it better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Join our Discord for discussions. There's always conversation happening in there. We will start doing some community gaming. I would love to get some Overwatch going on, and maybe get a nice 5-stack in there, as well as some maybe Deadlock.
I want to do a community GTA day.
Oh my God.
Like the few months leading up to the new GTA 6, right? Like, you know, everyone's going to be excited to play 6 so much that they're going to hop back on a 5.
Yeah.
That happens with every like new game coming out. You hop on the
100%.
one before, right?
Yeah.
So I'm very much looking forward to that surge of GTA 5
Yeah.
activity again.
So we'll definitely be putting together
that'd
a
be fun.
server for us to be doing that.
Yeah,
in.
that'd be fun to do, or something like that.
Also, I am streaming Wednesdays and Fridays, pretty much. Definitely Wednesdays, Fridays if I have time. And we will be adding more streaming days.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Pretty soon here, I'm gonna also be streaming.
Get John in there with me.
Yep, play some video games.
Play some games on camera on Twitch. So be sure to check out our stories for more information on that, just more specific information. But I think that really much covers all of the things that we had to talk about.
I hope you guys enjoy this episode of housekeeping. We definitely try to keep it shorter this time around than last time. And yeah, thank you so much. If you guys like this video, please like, subscribe if you can. Shoot us a like, shoot us a share if possible. Share with your friends.
Give us
some comments, some loves. Yeah, anything. We appreciate it all.
And then I'll give you a big old kiss.
Can't thank you guys enough. Okay. And so we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye, guys.